Yeah, like it's just like this is weird, man. Like Birdemon, this one's a bird.
Birdemon, and then
Doesn't.
Fred other Birdemon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. To me, it would just be like a general classification. Like, okay, so it's a bird. Okay, Birdemon. That's what it is. They're all called Birdemon. Like,
well, like every generation have a new bird.
Birdemon 1, Birdemon 2.
Yeah.
Like
just use numbers to differentiate.
is a Nintendo.
Hey kids, want to play some Nintendo?
Shut up, Joel, and welcome to the weekly poll.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Ash would be like Ashermon.
Welcome to the weekly poll, everyone. Sal will bring up the image in a second.
It's
But
here.
don't worry, we're there. Cool. Yeah, this is the every other week that we come out with an episode of this show talking about pop culture, comic books, Pokemon.
Yeah, that's a new thing.
And how Rob is currently becoming Lex Luthor, apparently at his current studio location.
Apparently I am. Yeah, I'm plotting against Superman.
Deep in his secret kill room.
Yes.
If you're joining us for the first time, thank you so much for that sub, Swamp of Fate. But if you're joining us for the first time, I'm Benny the Comicstorian. You can find me on this Twitch channel. You can find me over on YouTube at Comicstorian. I don't know where I am. Above me is Rob from Comics Explained, explaining some of your favorite comic books right back to you in the most epic of fashions. Over in the upper left-hand corner, or I think that way, is Joel of Caped Joel, who I looked at his channel today and is apparently trying to steal my idea, but with a Canadian accent. Go figure. Anyway, he explains comic books to you and tells you what's going on. I
do other things. I do many things.
You cook, too.
Not forever.
Over on the other side of me is Tiffany. Tiffany is from Comic Pop, along with Sal right in the middle. The two of them bring you the Comic Pop channel, where they bring you back issues, Off the Rack, and various other programs, such as Tiffany over here is streaming on her channel, Comic Pop, bringing you various games, stuff like that. And today we're going to be talking about San Diego Comic-Con and some of the biggest news as what has been decided by IGN as buzzworthy. All right. Also,
they know what's up.
I want to start a new hashtag today because I feel like fuck CBC has kind of like run its course.
Yes.
We haven't done it in a while. So fuck power scaling. So we're just that's the new one. Hashtag fuck power scaling. Only idiots talk about it. Named, Seth and Chuck. Yeah, that's the whole power scaling argument. Anybody who takes hashtag fuck power scaling. If you take it seriously, you need to get more things in your life. We're gonna
need a lot more characters. We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hashtag fuck power scaling. If you take it seriously, you need more things in your life. Power scaling is strictly for fun amongst friends to discuss things like who's the fastest Flash. Anyway.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure it's been stated the fastest Flash is Wally.
Yeah,
like,
well,
that's
it's been
definitive.
reconfirmed recently, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's why they're gonna kill him off.
I think he's gonna quit. Like I think he's gonna quit being the Flash, and then he's gonna go find Linda Park and just be like, "You and me, let's go." Touch
No, actually, it's already leaked out what's happening.
What's supposed to happen?
Are we gonna discuss any leaks that came out of San Diego?
I mean, I was making a joke because DiDio was being really coy about it during San Diego, where he's like,
not dying.
No,
he's not dying. That is confirmed already. The confirmation supposedly from San Diego is that they haven't said what, but the Suicide Squad reboot's going to have Wally on it.
Oh.
Huh.
Okay.
One that may or may not be Black Label and may or may not be written by Azzarello.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Wally's going to be on the squad apparently, as an actual member, not like one of those like temporary deals kind of thing.
They die.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of weird. Wally on the Suicide Squad. I mean, I'm curious to see what it looks like, but
apparently they didn't say what it was in the leak I saw, but whatever the reason is that he's on the squad is the fallout from Heroes in Crisis.
Oh, there you go.
oh, okay. I thought it was gonna be a fallout from Flash War. I'm like, so we just broke the Speed Force. Like, I mean, that's not a big deal.
It also feels slightly wrong too, where it's like, shouldn't it be Other Wally though? Because Other Wally's dad was a Reverse Flash and a member of the Suicide Squad, but no one seems to remember that, or if they do, they remember it wrong, like Adam Glass.
I'm sure that Tom King's never read a Flash book.
I guess not. No. Oh, we all agree.
We'd have to ask him. Hey, Tom King, have you read Flash? Well, yes.
All right, so we're starting the episode late only because Rob was going on about his Pokemon names. So we're going to have to get right into the actual topic.
Robamon, I choose me.
He's the very best.
Strongest
I'm the
Pokemon
very best.
we've decided is Arceus, and Tiffany's going to try to catch him in a Pokeball. Anyway, starting off at the top of what we'll go down this list of IGN things, and if there's anything on here that we wanted to talk about that we know about, we'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
So starting at the top of this, one of their big noteworthy things is the official confirmation that
Hello,
Green Lantern.
everybody on Twitch. Fans. How's everybody doing? I just wanted to say that.
So Green Lantern relaunch is being headed up by Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp. They're going to be doing the new one.
I am so excited about that.
Yeah, he's going to be focusing on Hal Jordan's life as a space cop. Basically, no more apocalypse-ending storylines. That is what he has said in the interviews about it.
Okay.
Works for me. That's what scared me away from Green Lantern for so long. I'm like, I don't. Because there's so much to catch up on, and everything is so the world is ending. I'm like, can't we? That's why I liked Green Lanterns more, because it's like, oh, cool, just a buddy cop procedural.
Well, okay. See, I loved Green Lanterns when Sam Humphries was writing it. I don't know how.
He's still doing it now.
Yeah, no, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it like when he's gone, because like I love the way he wrote Jessica Cruz. Simon Baz, I didn't really care too much about, but I love what he did with Jessica Cruz, and like with him leaving because she has anxiety and he has anxiety, so he wrote himself into a character,
right.
Which I didn't realize. I think it was Joel or somebody who told me that, and so I was like, damn, like that changes the whole way I view her character, and so then it's like, damn, like I really need to like, it really changes the way I see her. But like when Sam Humphrey leaves, it's gonna be like, damn, you know?
Yeah. You are getting Jurgens, though, and he is apparently going to work in the Cyborg Superman, so that's
the problem is with Grant Morrison writing it, Grant Morrison's going to be like, actually, what's going on now, guys, is that Jessica Cruz is fear embodied, and so she's a physical form created by the Ring, and she's green. Yeah. It's just no one ever noticed before because she
totally
represents being afraid. It is. It's totally him.
Isn't he also supposed? Or no, go ahead.
I was just going to say that, like, if you like if they've been setting up the DC cosmology through Green Lantern, get ready to forget all of that, because Grant Morrison is going to do what Grant Morrison wants to do. So
yeah, on our Sunday review show, I've been kind of saying it for the last couple of weeks that like the recent Green Lantern runs aren't going to matter, because there are a couple of writers out there that you know for a fact doesn't matter who they write for or what they're writing. There's no rules on them. They're allowed to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Grant Morrison is one of them. You know, Brian Michael Bendis gets away with whatever he wants to do.
Yep.
Jeff Johns does. I like what he does, but he does get away with whatever the hell he wants to do.
True.
Well, that's because it's Jeff Johns.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I get that Grant Morrison's book is about Hal Jordan, guys, but I mean, Final Crisis was about Darkseid, taking over everything until it wasn't. Until it was about just craziness and insanity and Mandrake.
Yeah. Well, remember when Final Crisis was going to be about the death of Batman, and then it was like, no, it's a clone. Lol.
Lols.
Maybe he's gonna. I know it's probably not possible, but like maybe he is just gonna tell a small story, and that's why he's saying like trying to focus on the fact that it's not gonna be like apocalyptic things like end of worlds or anything. Him as a space cop. Maybe he's like, let me try to just tell a small story.
Yeah.
Wasn't the early rumor too that Hal was going to go multiverse jumping to see how willpower works in other universes, and it would be a nice backdoor for Morrison to be like, hey, remember all my multiversity universes I created? Here's more of them.
That would be a nice place for him to play, because it's just like, just go over, just do whatever. If you want to go crazy.
Yeah, and when he comes back, Hal's just like, I wonder what happened over the last 12 months. Oh, well.
Yeah.
I want to see
Parallax again. Like, I want to see him become Parallax again. Like, it looks like he's going through it. Like, at the end of the story,
he never left. Remember, we spoke with Robert Venditti about that, like, 2 years ago. He's like, yeah, I'm going to bring back Parallax. It never happened.
He was probably like, Jean's probably like, no.
Not my boy.
Well,
I mean, I could easily see that being the case because, like, I mean, if you bring back Hal Jordan Parallax, you're bringing back, like, OG Hal Jordan. And most people started with Jeff Johns' initial run. So you're talking about, like, a story with Hal Jordan that took place years before Jeff Johns took over.
Right.
No, like, for those guys who are confused, I'm talking about after DCU. Parallax is supposed to come back and fight the Green Lantern Corps at some point, but he never did.
I wanted to see that Parallax.
This is why a lot of times when Rob and I get to talk to these writers, we don't talk about what it is. It's not because there's an NDA or there's any reason, because half of the stories they tell us sound amazing and they never happen.
Yeah,
happens all the time.
Like, I asked Robert Venditti, I was like, so was it Dr. Manhattan who broke the White Lantern rings? And he's like,
maybe. Talk about that.
It probably was until we threw that plot line away. Because you can bet your boots that Dr. Manhattan's gonna be a lot less important in the coming years.
It's sure feeling that way.
I don't know, man. I think things are gonna pop off. I think we're gonna know by the time like September and October come around, because that's when the events of Doomsday Clock were supposed to finish. And so like that's when I think things are really gonna pop off. That's when we're gonna find out what's happening. So I don't know.
Issue 6 comes out this week, doesn't it? Or comes out tomorrow?
Yeah, comes out tomorrow.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't do what what's his name did, what like Bendis did with Secret Wars, where he's like, oh, by the way, guys, Dr. Doom's alive, and his face is perfect. Spoiler alert, and I'm mad because I didn't get to write Secret Wars.
Yep.
I didn't get to write the Collapse of the Multiverse. I'm going to spoil it for everyone.
You killed my Ultimate Universe without asking me. Boo.
Guess what?
Which is kind of funny because he brought it back and like nobody's doing anything
Nobody
with it now.
cared to
Yep.
write it. Nope.
Yeah, no. I mean, Spider-Man 2 was good, and it's like, oh man, the whole Ultimate Universe is back, and they're like, yep, moving on.
Yeah. Don't write
no
the best
attention.
Death of Spider-Man story ever. Like, if you want people to care about your universe, don't kill the linchpin of it in the most satisfying way possible, and then bring him back just to bring it back.
Yeah.
So, Grant Morrison's doing Green Lantern, which is cool. It's great to see Grant Morrison actually doing like regular comics work again, like monthly.
Yes. Because it's been like, what was it? The last thing he did like that was Batman, I think. Like his Batman run.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Which
Or
was
at least-
really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was very pretentious, but it's fine.
It definitely
my
wasn't
God.
part.
Sal, hipster Sal, he rears his ugly head again.
Oh, but what if it
I
was
want
really
hipster Sal.
continuity?
I want hipster
Hipster
Sal.
Sal.
Okay, I wasn't gonna say this here, but you guys. So one of the people watching right now decided to tweet at the programmer saying, "Comic Story said he'll debate you and Chuck only if it's about why power scaling matters after his power scaling rant. Please cuck this man." To which I'm responding with, "You are aware cuck is not a verb. This is why you can't debate. You don't understand the English language." And then I put the meaning of cuck. A cuck is a weak, effeminate, inadequate man who is often dominated by their female partner and considered derogatory slang. And then I pulled up GIFs for Clueless because I was going to slap it in there. And the top one is a girl going, "You're a virgin, you can't drive."
All right.
Clueless, yes, I'm putting that in there.
Yeah, Benny, you know how to stir the pot, man.
I mean, if the shoe fits. I guess that's also why you got quiet for a little bit during the conversation. You were busy
I was
answering
saving it out. I
this.
was looking for a solid GIF.
Jesus.
Okay, I'll tell you guys right now. When Benny's tired and doesn't have work on his plate, Benny gets bored. And when Benny's bored, that's when he'll fuck with you.
You should see Benny when he's tired at a con. Like
Oh,
when we're
I
like
fuck with
7
so
or
many
8 hours
people.
into a con, and he's just like, all right, I'm exhausted. And it's like, fuck. Dude, like Sal will verify, man. Like you get to New York Comic Con, we're like 2 days in.
Yep.
And Benny's exhausted, and it's just like, oh, shit.
Here we
Because then we
go.
end up going to restaurants, and Benny starts fucking with the waitresses and all that kind of stuff, and like giving people a hard time.
I will say I've never seen Benny be rude to a member of the service industry when he was tired.
Yeah.
It's more like he's like, let's order all the food and every drink because
That's
I'm
what I'm
done.
saying. Just like make life rough on them. It's like, dude, they've got a whole restaurant full of people, and
But
you're going
in
to
the night,
dominate all their
I tip them
time.
well when I do that, though.
Yeah, you
I
do.
tip them well when I do that.
Yeah, but it's funny.
Oh, no, but that's all. It's like the idiots that catch me at like 8 a.m. Because like I'll work until like 8 a.m. a lot of times, or I'll go to the gym and I'll come home and I'll have like 2 hours off.
Yeah.
And they'll tweet me something that like I'm not even mad or angry, but I'm just sitting here bored watching YouTube videos. And then I just start fucking with them. And they're like, "You salty, bro? I triggered you." I'm like, "No, I'm really just bored. You're the one that wants to keep this going." Like,
Benny.
sorry, next topic. Benny's half asleep.
Well, all
Work
right,
out,
wait.
Benny.
So is everybody else? I assume
we're
Sal's
good.
not super excited for Green Lantern, but
I'm reading it.
I am
it's
super
Grant
excited.
Morrison.
I
Like,
mean,
as
I've literally
crazy as
got-
Grant Morrison is, I'll read anything he writes. So
Everyone's going to be talking about it. That's
yeah,
for sure.
they really are. It's the first time he's writing Green Lantern, as far as I'm aware.
I think you're
So
right.
I'm pretty excited about it.
For a
he's
solo
wanted-
series.
No, he's wanted to for a while. He's not written the solo series, but he's done stuff with Hal Jordan before.
Yeah. I mean, a solo
Yeah.
series. Yeah.
Yeah.
he's done some things with Hal Jordan before
Yeah.
in
the
his
past.
time.
In his
Yeah, they don't really talk about it. Like they're like, Hal Jordan, like what happened between you and Grant Morrison? He's like, it was a different time.
Let's not talk.
I don't want to talk about it.
All right,
both
so
lived
the next
interesting
up,
lives.
for big announcements, we have the Star Wars Clone Wars TV shows returning.
Yep.
Lucasfilm announced that the beloved animated series Star Wars: The Clone Wars will be returning for a new season, despite being canceled in 2013. They showed off the trailer at San Diego Comic-Con and began with the dialogue between various members of the clone army suggesting that specific clones will be featured in the show. A missile comes, destroys hundreds of clones' helmets in a row, with the text appearing, "A war left unfinished until now." Now, that is one of the shows, kind of like the original Teen Titans, that just abruptly ended. And while it was given an ending, you know that it wasn't supposed to.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that ending was called Rebels, so you know who lived, who died, and who made it to future wars.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a show that involves clones.
where I'm going with this. Rob's not a Star Wars fan, at least a Clone Wars fan. So
Neither am I.
I am not a Clone Wars fan. I am aware that Clone Wars is a show that people are fans of.
Yeah.
But I am not one of those fans.
Right, and it had
like
had two
Rebels more.
incarnations of the show. There was the animated Tartakovsky gaze, and then the CG. And I like the animated Tartakovsky show a little better, but I hate overall any show. I don't think any show should be abruptly ended, especially when there's so many fans of it. Come on.
I would say that's true. I mean, it was after my time.
That's just rude.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just
because
straight up
they ended
rude.
it just because they made the switch over and they were like, well, we want to do another show that fits in with our wheelhouse, so we're going to do Rebels instead.
Yeah.
And by the way, Rebels is a cool show, so it sucks they couldn't have made both shows.
Right.
Rebels was a cool show. I was actually surprised by how much I enjoyed it until I stopped enjoying
Until
it.
Holocron
But for the
showed up,
time
and
that
I'm
I did enjoy it, yeah. I was like, this is really cool, and now it's not, so I'm not going to watch it anymore. But, yeah.
The only problem I have with Clone Wars is I'm one of the people that fell victim to the out of order way they played it all, and I never went back and watched it in the appropriate order. So it doesn't sit well with me in that manner because I watched it. It's kind of like if you watched Firefly when it first aired.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't sit with you as well as people who watched it in proper order.
Yeah, no, I never watched Firefly.
Thankfully-
I saw Serenity. And I was like, I mean, this is kind of cool. I was like, I watched that, and I was like, this is kind of cool, but it's basically a crappy version of Star Trek. And it was funny because I would say that to a buddy of mine who was a Firefly fan. He's like, what?
Yeah. Don't you say that to browncoats, man.
Yeah, I don't.
No.
Wow,
It was
dude,
hilarious.
you saw the movie first?
Yeah.
That's the worst
Wow.
thing you could possibly have done. That
The
would be
worst
like
thing
you going,
no.
I'm going to check out this Marvel Netflix series. What's the first one I should watch? Iron Fist sound good to you guys?
Oh no.
I will say this: I am a huge fan of Firefly, but Outlaw Star did it better. So.
Oh.
I don't know, man. For me, it's Battlestar Galactica. I dig Battlestar Galactica. It was so funny. I saw the first 3 episodes and I was hooked, and then it got weird, and then I loved the ending, and I was like, okay, moving on. And that was the story.
Regardless, I think going back to Clone Wars, I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring it back to where we were. I think that
weird episode, Tiffany.
right. I'm bringing it back. Let's hold on. I think it'll be interesting for those who are really huge fans of it to see how well they do, because we've seen a lot of shows that they come back. It's just oh, here's the revival of it, and it's often not as good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I'm interested
That's
to
hot,
see.
Tiffany, because apparently
Sure.
we're having big lag issues.
Oh.
I've got the Twitch pulled up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look at it
never
right
mind.
now.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a there's. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right, we're back.
Okay, cool.
Huh.
That's weird. It shouldn't
Interesting.
have lagged.
I was like, that's why we're doing this on your end and my end this time, trying to get rid of all these issues. So.
I'm running 0
Man.
other applications. It's just this.
I just refreshed the stream and I got an ad for Godzilla 2. That
Nice.
movie looks like
Hey, wait,
ass.
no, we're gonna talk
We're
about
not
it.
there yet. It's on the list. It's on,
Oh, okay.
we'll get there.
Gun jumper
I
Rob.
I just
over
refreshed the stream and
But
I
yeah,
got
no, I think it'll be interesting just to see if they manage to capture what made everyone fall in love with it
Yeah.
before.
yeah.
I was surprised we didn't hear anything more about Resistance, which is the next show in the line from Clone Wars, Rebels, and Resistance.
Because
in the new continuity.
honestly, as much as I hate to say it, Star Wars is not doing so well.
Yeah.
No.
I love Star Wars. The new stuff has not been it hasn't excited me the way the old stuff did, and it's good. It's okay stuff. I like some of the new characters and things like Rey, and I do like Kylo and things like that. But it's not doing nearly as well, and it's quite obvious that Disney's taking a step back and being like, okay, why does Marvel work? And Star Wars is not breaking $1 billion every.
Right.
What is going wrong?
Yeah, which I think is probably also why they're more willing to bring back Clone Wars, because they're like, here's something that worked. This worked. We
Yeah,
know it
people liked
worked.
it, and they watched all of it. Now,
I don't know.
I feel like Star Wars is going through what Marvel started doing at the beginning of this year, where they're like, okay, we went a little too far outside of the box. We're going to come back into the box. You might see a sock hanging out. That might be that new stuff. We're going to go back to what you all like. So for Star Wars, here's Clone Wars, here's Episode 9. We'll see you in 2020 with the new stuff.
Yeah.
Which seems so backward to me. Hey, everyone, we'll bring it back to the prequel era. That'll make you like us.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I think that, as crazy as it sounds, I think Star Wars has kind of had its time. I think Star Wars was a franchise that was super popular until something better came along. And it could have been Lord of the Rings, but then we got the Hobbit series, so that kind of killed that. and then the Marvel movies, exploded. And so, like, I think the superhero genre. I mean, Star Wars will come back because it's timeless. So, I mean, like, once the superhero genre drops off, I think Star Wars will sort of come back in. But I think that Star Wars is just kind of a thing that's there. I think getting rid of the expanded universe turned out to be a problem because there were a lot of things that they could have done, just like make movies and make movies out of the expanded universe. But
everybody's favorite things from Rebels were just things that they had from the expanded universe.
Yeah.
Like Thrawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, this isn't a debate about what's going wrong with Star Wars. It's just, I like Star Wars. I mean,
okay, Star Wars is not dead. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not dead by any means, but it's not the same Star Wars we grew up with. And I think Disney's biggest mistake was trying to dispose of that nostalgia way too fast.
Yeah, but if you guys remember, people said the same thing about episodes 1, 2, and 3. Oh, it's killed Star Wars.
Exactly.
Star Wars is dead now because of episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Because that was the classic fans stating that, but the originals still respected the original lore and the trilogy, while Disney was like,
Did they Metachlorians? Did they Metachlorians?
Yeah, no,
we don't talk about that.
There were some things that there were some betrayals of like the original mythos in episodes 1, 2, and 3. So I mean,
Star Wars fans are just impossible to please. Did you think about that? Maybe they're like fans.
No. I think Disney's mistake though is not wiping it all away. Because I understand why they did it. Because let's be honest, Lucas said yes to everything. He didn't think about it. He didn't think about like what he was saying yes to. So they were like, "What are we gonna do with this hot mess?"
Yeah,
like it's a hot mess. We're gonna do something with it.
There is some weird quality control issues with Disney's Star Wars that weren't present with Lucas's Star Wars, and I don't mean the quality of writing, which is noticeably better now, but more like the quality of product. Like if you take a second to remember the time before the prequels, when it was just Star Wars, when they were just like a couple of VHS tapes and maybe some laser discs, like. To like Star Wars was to be part of a like small group of people who liked one thing. And the stuff you found that was ancillary, like a t-shirt or a statue or a comic book, really, really small amount of stuff. And Lucas really had it on lockdown when it came to like stuff you got. Like, model kits, occasional action figures. When Kenner came out with the new Power of the Force action figure line, like with the re-releases, people went ham on that because it was the first time you actually got Star Wars, anything new Star Wars, in a long time. And I think that having it kind of like in the like, it's funny that Disney is actually doing the opposite of what I would call putting it in the Disney vault, like putting Star Wars away, which Lucas did for a while. Not like he didn't say no to everything, but it's more like there was a dam keeping back the floodgates of Star Wars crap. And now, like, it's like you got everything is Star Wars. I mean, like, everything was Star Wars when the prequels came out, but it was like it was at least new. Like, ooh, a Watto electric toothbrush or a Jar Jar Binks sleeper couch. But like today, it's
I want that.
It's an obnoxious T-shirt with a like chibi Wookiee that says like Wookiees do it better or some goddamn nonsense. And like the thing that I've really traced it from is the Hallmark ornaments. I know it's a very weird microcosm, but like
I see where you're going.
The Star Wars Hallmark ornaments went from here's Luke, here's Leia, to here's Bosk, here's Zuckuss, here's Momonadon, and with like excruciating intricate detail that made them look like incredible statues. To once Disney like switched over to inheriting the license, here's Boba Fett, poorly painted. Here's Boosh, looks like crap. Here's a boring looking image of Luke and Vader like fighting. It has the barest of sculpt. Like it looks like crap again because they were just like, get it out as quickly as possible. I don't care. Just make dollars out of it. I spent $4.5 billion on this name. Make whatever you can, however you can, as fast as you can. I mean, like, look at the Marvel cartoons when Disney got them and how shitty they became. Like, Disney has a real quality control thing when it comes to the things you like after they get it. And Star Wars is a big victim of that. So I'm just saying, like, maybe it's not a bad thing that Disney's going like, hey, let's, like, put the kibosh on Star Wars for a few friggin' minutes. Like, yes, stop making everything Star Wars. Like, maybe put some, like, quality control on it. I don't know. It's
I mean, for me, Star Wars was like an event. When the first 3 movies came out, regardless of your opinions on the prequels, every time they came out, it was like, We are getting everyone together. We're going to go out to eat. We're going to go see this movie. We're going to then go get drinks, talk about this movie. At that age, I don't think I was drinking, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Getting drunk at 15.
Drink that
Drunk
grape
off
soda.
and I think that reaction that everyone had with us, Rob, at the Han Solo movie was indication of where this has gone. Because with the Star Wars movies, when Solo came out, it was like, all right, I got the 10 tickets like usual for the team. Who wants to go? And like, I think it was like 4 of us that actually went like to the team
I didn't
one.
go.
That's what I mean.
I don't really care about Han Solo.
No one, but that's just it. No one cared anymore because it's like, I'll just wait for the next one. It's coming out in, like 6 months.
Right. Like,
Yeah, I care about the main Star Wars movies. I never really cared about like the tie-ins.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't
Which
mind
is
some of the
fair.
tie-ins. It just comes down to being like, there are some things in life I don't mind being a mystery. I don't need to know about young Han Solo's life. Like I get it all in Harrison Ford's like portrayal. Like I got it. You don't have to spell it out for me like
right.
this.
Yeah, I don't need to know like where the
Solo
blaster came
ruined
from.
Han Solo for me. It explained
Really?
too much.
Yeah.
Now I know all the stuff. It's like, what
Right?
That's what I keep
Really?
hearing.
See,
from
I thought it
people, is, like,
explained
they
the
gave
bare
you-
essentials and just
No.
like, okay, whatever.
I mean, I would watch a
That
Star
explain-
Wars movie about Han Solo that explains how he and Chewbacca met, and
Well,
like
that's in
the
that.
origin of.
along
is
with
it?
everything else that you it explains everything all the way down to how he got his blaster, which I wasn't even aware was a special blaster, but apparently this explains that.
Yeah.
Like-
It's, the real tragedy is it's like a pretty well constructed movie with some really
Yeah.
like fun acting in it. It's just like
It's the best version it could be.
right, like, but it's like I didn't ask for this shit. I don't want it. It looks weird. It's made just for money. So, but they gave it to Ron Howard, like Hollywood hack extraordinaire, who's like really good at what he does, but it's also like,
Oh, okay.
who cares?
I thought you were gonna say Ron Howard was a garbage director. I'm like, okay, let me stop
No,
you.
he's great.
right there.
But he's
Rob's
also
like
a hired
just
gun. Like he's like
powering up.
Ron, I need
Oh,
to make
dude,
a movie
no, I'm
that
not-
looks great. Like I need you to just make this thing. It's all pretty much prepackaged. It's like handing a chef like a bunch of ingredients all perfectly portioned out and being like, make something amazing out of it. Like, well, you're not giving me a lot to work with, but I am a great chef.
Let's get back on track with the overall topic today.
Yeah.
Instead of, if you guys want, we'll have a whole discussion about Star Wars in another episode.
Right,
But
yeah.
I do want to thank the subscription from AimerGuy123. He has subscribed for 2 months in a row, and he wanted to say the mall reveal was hype, though. That was pretty hype, but it doesn't make any sense. So,
Wow, we
You know,
have
by
a
the way, really quick-
we have a subscriber. We have a subscriber for 2 months
Uh-oh.
in a row. Oh, a subscriber for 2 months in a row. You guys know what that means?
I think.
Yes, you know what that means. Splooge.
You,
All right,
you waited a
so-
couple
Sensual
seconds.
splooge.
according to IGN, there are 3 big trailers that are coming out that to hype things up. So I'll go to the line here. First one is Shazam. What did you guys think of the Shazam trailer?
Oh my god,
Pleasantly
dude!
surprised.
I feel like this is the first real comic book movie that Warner Brothers is making. Like this and
No,
Aquaman.
No, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was
Yeah, okay,
amazing.
there's
Yeah.
one.
Well, no, Wonder Woman felt more. No, Wonder Woman was a good movie, but it felt like more like a drama action movie and didn't feel like a superhero movie. It felt
Okay,
like it
I
felt
can
like
see that.
a blockbuster drama action that happened to have Wonder Woman. Like this feels like an actual like superhero movie.
Unashamedly so.
Yeah, like I feel like they capture the adolescence perfectly. Like what would happen if a kid suddenly became Superman? Like it looks like it's going to be amazing as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it looks. it's
I'm
gonna be awesome.
excited. I mean, I was
Yeah.
already a fan of Shazam, and Shazam gets shit on so much.
He's a
Yes.
poor man Superman, dude.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
It's not good, but I'm excited for this guy. I loved the portrayal. I love Billy Batson. The costume. It's funny because it looked like shit in all the promo images, and now that we're seeing it in action, it's like, oh no, this looks good. Actually, I'm on board.
Yeah.
I think they did a good job, like creating the world, and like I like a lot of the like family elements that they're putting in there, and like the costume looks really cool. I wasn't a fan of the cut of the trailer personally because it's like I get it. I get the joke you're telling me, and I know that in the movie that these moments will be cut like up and broken up with other things that are going on, but like it's a man with a child's mind. But you gave me the same joke basically over and over again. I'm like, yeah, I get it. And they
Yeah.
don't want you to show me the whole thing, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, it was just the same beat over and over again. And like I was like, all right, I'm gonna wait for the next
Yeah.
trailer.
No, it's the
Wait for
answer to the
next trailer.
question, what if we got Tom Hanks big and then he became Superman when he became big. And it looks awesome.
I don't need 4 of those shots in like the span of 30 seconds.
But it's so cool because it's all we're waiting for now is for like Shazam to play the piano at FAO Schwartz with like the wizard Shazam, and like, dude, that'd be like the greatest. That needs to be like a post-credit scene. Like that's what that needs to be. It's like they need to reenact the scene from Big.
You know what I thought was
I understand
fun?
what you're saying, Tiffany, because I kind of feel like they're beating you over the head. Like this is the point of the movie. You know?
And I'm like, no, I got it. Thank you, DC. I'm with you. I'm with you, and I'm gonna see it, and I'm excited. But we all got it.
You know what else was fun? He's blinking, you'll miss it, but Mark Strong playing the villain in this one. How nice is it that Sinestro gets a second kick of the can at being a comic book movie villain?
Yeah, he plays the I can never remember his name,
Dr.
but he's
Savannah.
Yeah, Savannah. Yeah. And now here's the other thing too. I don't know if you guys caught it or not, but Music Man 625.
Oh my god.
Yes, I saw your subscription, Music Man 625. Splooge.
Hey.
Okay,
how do you guys
some smooth jazz in it every time?
How do you feel about? And I'm gonna say this but it was.
Hold on, Black Adam didn't have a cameo in the trailer, did he?
No, that's what I was gonna say. I felt it was kind of ballsy for them to not imply The Rock is in this movie.
Yeah.
With how big of an actor he is, even if you don't show him in costume, if it just clips to his face at the ending with like an evil grin.
I don't think it's bold at all. I think they're going for the Civil War trailer effect. Like, you guys remember that? They released a trailer for Civil War, and Spider-Man was nowhere to be found in the first trailer.
Yeah,
and then they released a follow-up trailer that featured Spider-Man. So I think it's a way to like feature The Rock later on and like rebuild hype. Because you got to remember, if you're Warner Brothers, you've got the Marvel Cinematic Universe running strong. So we've got, what is it? Another one of the shows is coming out soon after Iron Fist. I think is coming out next. And then you have like the Captain Marvel movie. You've got X-Men Phoenix that comes out. So there's like a handful of movies that would really like overshadow Shazam. So you don't want to really put like, you don't want to play your ace right now.
Yeah, that's
and so I could see them waiting until the spring, like, because I don't remember exactly when it comes out, but if it comes out after Infinity War, then I could see them, or I guess Avengers 4, then I could see them dropping the trailer with The Rock at or around the time that Infinity War comes out, because then the hype train rolls. Because then they run off the hype train for Avengers 4, and then ride that directly into the Shazam movie with everybody looking forward to seeing The Rock show up.
Yeah.
So
they're saying that he's not in it.
Yeah. So it's a weird thing right now. He is Black Adam, but he's not at the same time. So there's a whole debate as to where is Black Adam? Is he going to be in the movie? Is he going to be a post-credit scene? For my opinion, of being a Shazam fan and knowing the storyline, that story is following Jeff Johns' story beat for beat.
Almost to a T.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
And if it is doing that, Black Adam is in it, but after Billy deals with that first villain. Because that's where Billy learns he can be a hero, and if it's the Jeff Johns storyline, Black Adam shows up later because Billy made himself aware of everyone aware of what's going on.
That's your sequel.
That could be that could be either your sequel, your post-credit scene, or the villain's around for the first 45 minutes and Black Adam shows up. I mean, we know Carnage is in Venom, but we haven't seen him either. So
I feel like
Carnage.
Yeah, it's not Carnage. It's shit. It's the other symbiote.
Nobody asked for this.
Riot. That's what it is. Riot. Yeah, that's what it was. Because I was sitting there thinking about that. I was like, Riot. Like he was part of like the symbiote army, whatever it was, from like back in the '90s. And I was like, but why though?
Yeah,
like,
just make it Venom and leave it there. We know that there's another symbiote. We haven't even seen him either.
I know
and we're going to talk about Venom in a minute. Why?
Because it's Sony. Because it's the worst decision you could make. Because they think a Silver Sable Black Cat movie is a good idea. Like, this movie's going to be so
don't understand
stupid,
why they're doing that.
He's going to look like Venom for like 10 collective minutes, and everyone's going to be like, "Yay!" And then it'll be done, and it'll make like $60 million. And Sony will think they learned a lesson. We'll get to Venom if they release some Venom bullshit in this.
Yeah.
But anyway, with the Black Adam situation, if he is in the movie, we don't fully know. We just know that he is Black Adam. He is credited as Black Adam on the movie. So we don't know if that is 45 minutes of fight at the end of the movie or if that is the post-credits scene.
Deathstroke trailer credits.
We know that like The Rock has his own movie. Like I mean that's like the Black Adam movie is its own standalone film. But to me that'll be like an origin film.
Yeah.
I don't really see that being like a movie where he fights Shazam. Like I don't really see that happening.
It's also. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tiff.
Oh no, go.
Okay, I was going to say it's also important to note that Shazam is part of the new rebranded. It's not the DC Cinematic Universe anymore. It was never that. It's the worlds of DC, which seeks to imply a kind of cinematic creativity over continuity. Does Shazam get to hang out with the Justice League? Do you like him? Will this movie make money? Then yes. If not, then no.
Well, I mean, no, like they can do that all they want to, but like we'll just call it what it is, a reboot. Like call a spade a spade. Jesus, like hellfire, man. Like it's fine if that's what they want to do. If they're just like this is part of the new thing, whatever. It's a
but it's
reboot
admitting
going forward.
defeat, Rob.
Like Batman Batarang is in that movie. Clips or like moments or full page images of Henry Cavill Superman from the Daily Planet are in that movie.
Oh yeah.
It's in the DC's in the formerly known as DCEU, and by formerly known I mean fans decided to call it that, even though it's not really an extension. An extension of what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
So-
Fat Snorlax. Yes, Black Adam having a movie is laughable. People said the same thing about Iron Man.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
And for the record, Black Adam actually is an actual anti-hero. He's like Sinestro. He's not truly a real villain. He protects Kahndaq and all that other stuff.
He's just
now,
a protector
I will say, Jeff Johns did state Black Adam will no longer appear in the film, but I want everyone to remember something. Remember when they said Superman wasn't in Justice League?
They lie.
And remember when Henry Cavill came out after the movie was done and said, I don't know why they did that. I was on the press tour. Why did they not just say I was there? Like,
well, what they meant to say was that Superman's mustache will not be in the movie. That's what they meant to say.
I gotta tell you, his costume, I know I mentioned it before, it looks really good.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like
It looks cool.
It looks cool. It's bright. It's colorful. I like the cape. It's just perfectly hokey. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just wholesome.
It's like a sci-fi movie costume.
You know what I mean? Like, it's very wholesome.
Yes.
And just from the few moments we saw of like the kids, I thought they did a really good job.
Yeah, the kids are fun.
Yeah.
I'm like really invested for some reason in those kids.
Yeah,
Next
it's not going to be
movie
like Transformers where the humans are the most annoying part.
Yeah.
All right, so the next movie on this list here is Aquaman.
Yes.
Oh my God! Finally getting the recognition he deserves. All hail Aquaman!
Now, here's a crazy thing. From what I gather, that movie is supposed to be like its own cohesive system. Like they're gonna have like they're gonna build out the world from like Atlantis, all that stuff.
They're trying to do Wakanda.
Yeah, basically. And no, actually, I'm pretty, like, I am more hyped about an Aquaman expanded universe in movie form than I would be about Wakanda. Like, I mean, Wakanda has, like, the Great Mound that crash landed on Earth 10,000 years ago and, like, anti-metal. Okay, cool. Like, I'm really excited to see, like, all the Atlantean stuff. Like, all that Atlantis stuff. Like, that looks, dude, the movie looks badass.
It looks nothing like Justice League's Atlantis, but that's fine.
Right.
No, that trailer did not look like shit. That trailer looked like amazingness is what it looked like.
Yeah, no, that trailer looked awesome. They did go kind of beat for beat on some of the Wakanda stuff, like them flying into Atlantis, you know, and like, oh, yeah, every time you see it, it's amazing.
Let's have a fight for the right to be king and everything with a guy who's your brother but not your brother. But
the funny thing is, like, everyone is all freaking out. They're like, well, it's kind of like Black Panther. I'm like, yeah, well, Aquaman and Black Panther, like they're both kings of a nation that is super powered and is beyond it. Like, it's kind of one's in the water, one's in a jungle. They're not really that different.
In the broadest strokes,
They've been like rulers of a country who have been deposed and had to like fight to regain their throne. And like, it's kind of par for the course when it comes to like rulers of a nation in comic books.
I gotta tell you that trailer looked all the better after that horrible poster came out right before the trailer dropped.
Fighting Aquaman?
That poster.
Free the willies?
Yeah.
More killer whales.
Right? But make sure it's the same killer whale.
I want to see him ride a megalodon shark.
James Wan's backlash to that, though? Somebody tweeted him, and a few people did, and they were like, well, it doesn't look like wet enough, like Aquaman's wet. And James Wan responded with, well, when you're in the water, you don't look wet.
But your hair moves. It's just like, there.
That's it.
Oh, guys, I'm underwater.
But like, what's the alternative? Is he going to be tall? Is he going to be like, whoa, 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 like when he's? I mean, it's like just speech bubbles, and the bubbles are going to pop at the surface, and you'll hear the words.
No,
like,
don't take a green screen picture of him with a wind machine on, and then say it's water.
Okay, I'll give you that.
My favorite thing.
I'll take that.
It looks like a stray breeze moved his hair, and they were like, "Looks good enough to me."
Ship it.
Ship it. He CG'd the same killer whale like 4 times. We're not worried about the hair.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I want to see him ride like a 60-foot megalodon shark. He's just like beast mode, bitch, and just
you're
comes
not
like
going to see megalodon, but you're going to see a ton of sharks. It's going to be dope.
That's the ultimate crossover. It's just the Meg
And
Aquaman.
Yeah,
No,
how
it
much
looked-
more hyped for the Meg would you be if like towards the end everyone's gonna die and then Aquaman showed up and
Oh, dude, I would lose
Best
it.
movie ever.
Like, no, Meggie, stop, Meggie, and he's like, I'm sorry. And then
Sorry.
Aquaman and the resurrect Rob
Stop
Schneider.
Maggie.
yeah, Meggie the shark, Meggie the megalodon.
I didn't know you guys are close.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
close
got
to
a
all
whole
of my
backstory.
subjects, you know.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, there were so many things. Like, you had the deluge. You had
Deluge. The
I call it
deluge.
deluge. I call it
I
deluge.
know what you call, but it's a
That's how you-
deluge.
That's how you pronounce the name. Is deluge. And then
No,
you
I
had.
mispronounce everything. If I get one thing right, I'm gonna at least stick to it. It's deluge.
Well, okay, if you mispronounce everything, why would I believe you on this? I can't
That's
add,
fair.
but I can multiply. But like Black Manta looks bad, dude. Benny, okay, so Benny and I were hyped about Black Manta.
Yeah.
Oh God,
badass.
it looks good.
Which
Yeah.
makes it
Dude,
seems
Black
so
Manta
funny to
could've
live in
gone
a day
so
and age
bad,
where
it's
people
so
are
good.
excited for Black Manta. He does look good.
Yeah, he looks
Yeah.
dope. I've always liked his look more than I've known anything about Black Manta, so I'm excited. I'm hyped.
Absolutely.
I'm like, go for it. Make him look cool and do cool things.
They fixed the neck problem, which I like. Black Manta's always had a neck problem.
Yes.
It's always like the scrawniest neck, and you're like, he's got a fishbowl in his head.
You guys are aware it's a fishbowl, right? Like it's a fishbowl. It's all it is. Yeah.
I'm gonna punch him in the neck is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna punch him in his little tiny neck. Oh no, he's got a Brock Lesnar neck now. I can't punch him.
Now, here's going to be the irony. Like, are they going to kill Black Manta? Because I feel like Black Manta is going to feel like Eric Killmonger, but for Atlantis. And my question is, are they going to take the smart road and be like, hey, you know what we should not do? Kill the really awesome villains. So,
Oh,
like,
they're gonna
let's
have-
keep them
Let's
alive.
hope not.
They're gonna have a whole murder mystery because this too looks to be taken so much from the Jeff Johns run. Black Manta killed his dad, and that's gonna be the third act reveal.
No, dude, take it from Rebirth. Like, use the Jeff Johns thing, like where and you get the whole origin of Black Manta, why he's fighting Aquaman, but then he gets defeated and then he takes over Nemo. Like just have that whole thing run where he's just running like his own criminal organization now,
Those
and he's
guys
like,
might be Nemo.
we're devoting all of our resources to killing Aquaman, and it's like, but didn't he like beat Superman? It's like, and you're dead now. We're devoting all of our resources to killing Aquaman.
Also,
All
trench
right, so-
monsters.
Yeah, trench monsters. The whole thing just looks amazing. And it's
Yeah,
gonna
it
break
looks
down
awesome.
to the fight
Hey.
for Atlantis, which I'm excited for.
Yeah.
A whole scene in the desert, which was also an issue from the Jeff Johns run,
Yeah,
which
big
I
time.
appreciated.
Yeah.
The thing I liked, and the thing that not enough people are talking about, I like that they put emphasis on his parents and said that that's important. And I like that. We actually see his mom training him to fight with tridents as a little kid. I'm like,
Yeah.
cool. Thank you
Right.
for not ignoring that this guy
Yeah,
had
but I
a
thought he
past and a
wasn't-
family.
I thought he wasn't trained by his mom. He was just raised normal, and then
Well, in this version, he is.
He was raised normal.
well, he was raised on the
depends on what
coastline.
origin we're going with, Rob. There's actually an origin where he, I just did it today. It's like a really super stupid, convoluted one. His name is like Orin, and he's not even Arthur. It's so weird.
Oh, is it the post Infinite Crisis origin?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not even
There's
Arthur.
so
He's
many
just-
crazy ones.
Yeah, it's weird.
And
Yeah,
there's,
no,
the
I'm
Golden
Okay, so
Age one where
next up, we got to keep moving, Joel. I'm sorry,
Okay,
I
we
do
gotta-
apologize.
Fair enough.
Next up, we're going to talk about what I'm the most hyped for. What is the most badass looking movie? Godzilla, King of the Monsters,
No.
Kaiju,
No.
baby,
I
Kaiju.
don't even know the point of the movie.
Mothra.
Like, I don't even know the
Yeah.
point.
You know the point of the movie.
Okay,
Rob,
like
okay,
I
hold
get
on,
it's like
you
all
The
watch
these
planet is
Kaiju-
dying, and we need monsters to fix it, Rob. We need 100%
Do you understand
monsters.
the point of a Kaiju movie at all? Like, if you watch Kaiju movies.
No, okay, I don't watch those weird Japanese movies.
It's just
cartoon
monsters
shows.
fighting. Do you watch Power Rangers when you were a kid?
Yeah,
Did
but
you
it was
like
Power
Pacific
Rangers.
Rim?
fighting.
Yeah.
What's the Grim?
What?
So Mothra is a giant moth coming out of the water.
I thought you asked like
Godzilla's
what
got
Grim
a
was.
feather.
Whoa, hold on.
I thought you said
Slow
like
your
have I
roll
ever seen
there.
Grim?
Pacific
Mothra
Rim.
is actually
Pacific Rim, yeah.
He's gonna come out of the water. He's the caterpillar, which we see the little girl touch because he always arrives as a caterpillar first, and then
Yes.
he's gotta power
Right,
up,
okay.
and the little ladies have to sing the song, and then he becomes Mothra,
Which I
and
love.
it's like freaking awesome, and hopefully he's gonna help everybody out. And then there's
And it's a
Ghidorah, and
she,
there's
right?
Rodan, and it's
Yeah, Rob, I think you're outnumbered in this argument against Kaiju's. I'm just
No, I didn't say kaijus are stupid. I said I don't understand the point of the movie.
it's
point of the movie is to
Godzilla
watch them
fights
fight.
Mothra.
No,
Yeah,
no. I'm talking about the plot. Like they're like, okay, so our world is dying, and the only way to fix it is to let monsters fight. Like, are they putting
Yes.
off energy? Like, does the
I
Earth need to
guess.
absorb like the ambient energy let off by monsters fighting and then heal itself?
Sure, let's go with that.
I mean, I-
Who cares?
The general plot in most Godzilla flicks is evil monster rises because of energy or a nuclear power plant,
Or
something
aliens.
the Earthlings have created, we have risen to come out. And then Godzilla ends up rising to fight for us because he's not, or she is whatever version you want to go with here.
I was gonna say, but sometimes Godzilla was bad originally, but then
right, he was. but as the Japanese like to make heroes, Godzilla turned into like a full-fledged superhero eventually. But
and that's what's cool about Godzilla, because you never know whose side he's on.
Right, that's the thing with Godzilla. Godzilla is the king of the monsters. Godzilla is here to just kill the other monsters.
Oh, wait a minute. So this thing, so this thing's not a Hydra. It's King
Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah.
Right.
Oh.
So what this movie is supposed to be the big battle with Godzilla versus all the monsters to prove who the king of the monsters is. The plot of the movie is the humans are just like, oh my god, what do we do? That's literally
okay. That I can get behind.
Okay.
Like, I watched the trailer and it's just like, all right, the Earth is dying and monsters have to fight to save it. I'm like, so are they going to fight aliens? Like, I don't understand what the hell's going on right now.
No, they're fighting each other to decide who the king is. And if
I'm down. Like that I understand, and that I can
and Godzilla should team up.
Oh, you know they will.
And like, but to be fair, and like all of them fly except for Godzilla, which is like, sorry, Godzilla.
Yeah, but
he's got like a giant Godzilla fly swatter. He's like swatting at them.
And then hopefully Destroyer will show up at some point.
Oh, I love Destroyer.
So basically, Rob, the whole
it amazes me you guys know the names of these things, but okay.
Regardless of why Godzilla's back, 90% of the time it's one of two reasons why we want Godzilla to win in these things. Either A, Godzilla's on our side, which is if you go to some of the more later Godzilla movies in Japan, that's kind of how it went. Or B, because Godzilla won't fuck us, it is just going to go back to bed.
Yeah. And I mean, the morality of Godzilla is interesting.
Yeah,
it seems like it'll be cool. Like, I mean, it looks like it'll be interesting. Yeah, Mecha Godzilla. Like, I know about that.
Yeah.
Like, that'll be kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, okay. If it's just like a giant battle royale with monsters, I can get behind that.
It's kind of like Pacific
I'm
Rim.
definitely down
That's all that was. Pacific Rim boiled down to watch the giant robots fight.
Yeah.
No, but okay. I mean, okay, yeah, that's true. But it had like an actual story behind it too. Like aliens are trying to conquer the world, and it's like okay. I mean, that makes sense. Like I'm down with that. But like this is just kind of like like Yellowstone is erupting, so we need monsters to fight each other to stop it.
Yep,
that's like that's all the justification the Japanese needed to create this thing. Like,
I guarantee you it's gonna be something more like they're gonna make it out because like you do hear the woman talking about how like that's like something's happening with the Earth and like
it's waking them up typically. That's typically what happens, Rob.
Yeah,
something has an earthquake or nuclear power and they're awake.
Right. I kind of hope. I doubt this is going to be it, but wouldn't it be amazing if they these four monsters wake up, right? And they fight, but there's something bigger coming, and that's what the Earth is doing.
That's Cthulhu. I want to see Godzilla fight Cthulhu.
Well, here's the only problem I have with Godzilla King of the Monsters. We know who the winner is because we already know the next movie in the series, which is Godzilla versus King Kong.
Which I'm not a huge fan of, but fine.
I'm actually kind of excited for that.
Yeah, but that's the only downside.
East versus West.
I'm just not sure because I feel like King Kong will die.
I just feel like and that's exactly it. Like, don't put two protagonists in a way up against each other. Like, leave them in their own universes. They can team up.
But I will say, at least they're fucking doing their franchise movie thing right. They're taking the time to build each movie, build Godzilla, build King Kong, then they can slug it out. I'm good with that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And they'll fight in a bathroom at the end of the movie, but then they'll make up.
Just hope that Mothra doesn't die because
Harvok wants to know what you think about Godzilla versus the Megalodon.
Oh no, dude!
That would be over in a hot second. Pick up, open mouth, scream into face.
No, but okay.
Where
we're talking about Godzilla, because Godzilla would have to go into the ocean to fight Megalodon. No, I think Megalodon would win because Godzilla would be slow.
He's in the ocean. He can swim. We've seen him do it. He has no problem with that.
Yeah, but he would be like swat, like swinging, like going to punch. Like
all he has to do is pick that thing up, just.
Godzilla messes up submarines, man.
Yeah,
he swims.
He could do that. He could just like pick it up and then just carry it out of the water and just like throw it into Los Angeles.
And then like rip it off and then put it on his head so its little shark teeth are up here like a little crown.
I mean that would be a pretty awesome fight. Like I would love to see that. Like Godzilla versus Megalodon, and then it's like that fight's like 5 seconds long. Godzilla's just like, well, here we go, and he just walks down to the ocean. It's like, there you are, buddy, and he picks him up and he takes him out, and he's just like, just chill here for a while. And Godzilla or like Megalodon's like flopping in Los Angeles, and like there's like earthquake felt in China, and they're like, what the hell is that? It's like Godzilla's flopping around, and he's killing the Megalodon, and the Megalodon's just like flipping like a fish, and then after like 30 days of this, like Megalodon just dies. And they're like, so what do we do with this 60-foot shark that's just sitting in LA right now? Like, I don't know, man. Like,
eat it, I guess. I don't know.
we eat it.
Bro,
Makes
I'm
a
gonna have
great
you come
sushi
over,
of the Megalodon.
and we're gonna eat sushi while watching classic Godzilla flicks.
No, we're not, because the last time you tried to get me to do something like that, we watched that one anime where the robots were eting people, and I have no interest in watching that again.
Attack on Titan.
Robots?
Yeah, what?
It's the giant robot things where we're picking people up and eating.
They're people. Like, they're big monsters. They're big, horrible people.
Big
I don't
zombie.
think Rob likes big monsters.
No. Big things are a turnoff to him, just no.
Some big things. Other big things. Very big turn on for me.
But dumb tish.
All right.
I set him up, you knock
No,
him down.
okay, Tevia. That's a genius idea. Like Godzilla versus Cloverfield, but it's got to be the Cloverfield monster from Cloverfield Paradox. It's like just gigantic in size. Like the movie was ass, but it's got to be like the other. It's got to be like that.
I mean, like, no, let's not talk about Cloverfield Paradox. You just take from Cloverfield, because there was that theory that the Cloverfield monster was just the baby and it was calling out to its mother.
No, J.J. Abrams said that the one from Paradox is the actual Cloverfield monster, like full grown.
The one in the original is the baby calling out to that one.
Yeah.
No. J.J. Abrams said the one in the original became the one in Cloverfield Paradox.
Oh, well, here's the thing. I hate
size.
Cloverfield Paradox, and I refuse to accept that, J.J. Abrams.
I like that now Godzilla is a thing again. In North America, we don't have to talk about Cloverfield anymore because we have Godzilla now.
So anyway, moving on. We got to move on to the next topic. Okay. Walking Dead, rumors have been going that Andrew Lincoln's going to be leaving. It was confirmed at this that this is his last season 9 of The Walking Dead. But apparently the show is going to keep going.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck. Like that's not going to happen. This is not Game of Thrones. All right, like if Andrew Lincoln was going to be the character they killed off, he should have died in the first season. Like he is not like okay, and plus he's not Sean Bean. Nobody goes in to see like expecting Andrew Lincoln to die. Like okay, like so Sean Bean's in it. Like let's take bets. 10-1 odds he dies in the first half an hour. I mean, it's it's like okay,
yeah.
Like the show cannot survive without Andrew Lincoln because they've killed off everybody else who matters except for Daryl, and Daryl's cool. But the whole like if Daryl dies we riot like that died off when like the entire viewer base died off.
Right.
So
I'm shocked the show's continued as long as it has.
It's because AMC doesn't have anything else. That's the problem. Like even with lower views, it's better than anything else AMC has.
Yeah.
And you still have more source material to work with. So,
yeah, but most of it is Rick in it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Rick is still in the current day comics.
Right.
He's like an old decrepit man at this point, but he's still there.
I'm just saying, like it would have been like killing off Walter White in season 4.
Right.
Like
but we're gonna keep the show going. You're gonna love Jesse and what we do with season 8.
Cool. Yeah. Exactly. Jesse Pinkman's cool, but he can't carry Breaking Bad. So like it's like I think Daryl or Carol. I don't even know Carol. I don't even really know. I don't even know if they've even started like the Whisperer War yet. I like the idea of The Walking Dead continuing on. I just don't know if it can. Now I do know that Robert Kirkman wanted to get rid of Andrew Lincoln before. Like he regretted cutting off his hand, and then he wanted like the character of Rick Grimes to die.
Yeah.
So he's just going back and fixing things. It's just like Kirkman, I love you and what you've done with Walking Dead, but just because you can fix something doesn't necessarily mean you should.
He's basically Georging it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but again, it could be the best thing to happen to the show.
That'll be it.
I mean, I believe that. I mean, I'm with you. Like, I believe that's what'll happen, but it might not. It might reinvigorate interest. Who knows?
I mean, for me, Walking Dead is a series that I constantly lose interest in, and then I binge watch to catch up, and then I lose interest again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think I wrapped up last season. Maybe what was the cliffhanger? Just in case no one's watching, never mind.
But the real question is, what will happen to Clementine, the one true hero of the Walking Dead series?
Well, she'll remember that he's leaving. So it's fine.
Internet high five.
All right. So next up, we've got. There are two minor things that happened, but I guess they put it in this noteworthy thing. We saw the adults in Chapter 2 of It, what they're going to look like.
I actually did not see that, but I'm pretty excited to see that.
I mean, all they had was them at a table going, "We're the adults."
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
Which is just done by IMDbing the new movie. Like,
yeah.
But like, don't lose interest just because the kids aren't here and they were like really like a strong cast and had a really fun story. Just hang around for us. Come on.
But that was always the caveat of It. Like the first half of it was always more interesting than the second.
I know.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'll take it in stride. I mean, I'm gonna go see it because it's I want to see how the second half ends. Yeah. But it's always just like, well, we're the adults now and we can't see it because only children can see it, and so we got to fight an invisible monster, and then. No, I thought they couldn't see it.
No,
Like
they
they saw the deadlights and they saw its final form, but they couldn't actually
No, they
see
can see
it.
it.
Oh, okay. Huh. Thought they just couldn't see the
I
front.
think he's right. I think there was some reason they could. Maybe because they fought it when they were kids, but no one else could see it or something like that.
I think that's what it was.
Maybe that was it.
There was some weird reason I think they were able to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
Next up, we've got. Okay. I mean, everyone here's played the series, but the Metal Gear Solid film has now got concept art. Who honestly thinks that this is gonna? Yeah. Who thinks that this thing is actually gonna get made? I mean,
No. They only need to. All they need to say is that Neil Blomkamp's going to direct it, and that's like, okay, it'll definitely never happen now.
Yeah, it looks like they're just taking, like, the scene shows basically Metal Gear Solid 4, which, knowing the way video game movies go, they'll do that.
Yeah,
They'll be
of
like,
course.
so here's how it ended.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
Holy shit! Somebody drew Chris Evans as Solid Snake.
Oh, that's a great idea.
It actually looks badass too.
It is. That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, it looks pretty damn amazing. I mean, okay, now if this was like 5 years ago, and they still had the Kojima guy, then I would say okay, like then I would say okay, like this movie will definitely succeed. But he's just kind of like, okay, so there's everything Konami, and so like F that, and walked away. So I mean, without him on as an advisor, Konami's kind of left to their own devices, and I don't really know.
I know, and the first thing they did was make a Metal Gear Solid zombie survival game that
And
that
tons
was
of pachinko
absolute
games.
ass. Yeah, I've heard it was garbage.
Okay, so next up we've got Venom footage screened, which apparently
goody.
surprisingly has not made it to the internet because I couldn't find it. Maybe
Because no one cares that much. Even the internet doesn't
but
want
the
it.
biggest thing that came out of it was there's no spider symbol, which I think is all copyright shit, and they can't do it. So
Well,
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. From what I gather, like I think there's talks about Venom crossing over into Spider-Man in the MCU, but I don't know.
But like, all right, so like, if he doesn't have why would he have it? He had it because he originally, was with Peter, and Peter was Spider-Man, so he of course would take on that. If he hasn't done that step, why would he have it?
I mean, I still don't understand why they're making it. I don't understand how you make Venom without Spider-Man.
money and rights and ego. That's why.
I get okay,
Yeah.
but that's
Sal's not gone, guys. He just took his camera off. It looks like
Uh-oh.
Sal's
But we're
hosting us.
But we're still here.
It's like Sal literally can't be gone. The stream would stop.
Because we're still here. He just didn't want to talk about it. He just didn't want to talk. So
all
let's
the talk
talk
about
about it.
Venom.
All the talk
Sal-
about
Sal
Venom
got
made him
snapped
fall
by
off his
Thanos?
chair.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not really 50%, but I'll take it because I don't want to get snapped.
Thanos dusted Sal.
I love how Tiffany's like, yeah, Sal's gone forever, but I'll take it because I'm alive. So.
Hey, I assume, look, if Thanos is real and means the Avengers are real, they're going to fix this. I don't have to worry. No, but seriously, I do think that like it makes more sense for him to not have it, and so it's kind of a good idea. I know it's like not the iconic look for Venom, but it's like, but why would he take to a spider?
I don't know. Like every time I get hyped for Venom, they do something like this, and I'm like, and now I'm not anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, moving on. We got Donny Coates is spearheading the new Marvel
Cates.
Knights launch. I will say Coates all I want. Why? Because I am Benny, and I don't say shit. Deluge, Rob. Deluge.
Nope, deluge.
Anyway, yeah, no, so he's going to be heading up the new Marvel Knights, and they're featuring Daredevil, Punisher, Shang-Chi. Just stop trying.
Shang-Chi.
Whatever, stop trying. Just give me Iron Fist. Black Widow, and who is that?
Karnak was there too.
Karnak?
Yeah, the idea of bringing back Marvel Knights kind of baffles me a little bit.
It's to compete with Black Label. They want a more adult line.
Okay, but they had that. If you're going to do that, bring back Max. Just call it for what
one
it
at
is.
a time.
It could just be that this is what Cates wants to do.
Yeah.
Like he's just like,
that's
I'd like to
entirely
dabble in this
true.
part of the Marvel universe, and you're not going to say no right now because who else you got?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
yeah.
I feel like him, Coach, and what's his name, Slot. I think they're pretty much taking the role of Bendis at this point because they're really all that's left outside of Jason Aaron. Like, for substantial writers that I can name off the top of my head that are in Marvel, they're pretty much it. I mean, you got a few others who have been with Marvel since the beginning, like Kelly Sue DeConnick and all those, but like to the level of I can do whatever I want. I mean, Cates is not at that level, but Slott definitely
No, but
is.
he's getting there.
He's getting there, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and
It shows
Slott
they
is
trust him.
the guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 5 or 6. I mean, like you got Ed Brisson, Donny Cates, Al Ewing, Jason Aaron, Dan Slott.
Saladin Ahmed, who just won an Eisner.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got a handful who are pretty solid.
Rosenberg, who I love to death, who apparently is going to be a part of this, which is interesting because he's writing the main universe Punisher book. Does that mean he's going to be writing the Marvel Knights one and this one at the same time? So there's like some cohesion between Punisher titles.
Yeah.
Also, if Karnak is alive here, does that mean Karnak survives the death of Inhumans and the storyline Death of Inhumans, or is Marvel Knights more kind of off on its own, doing its own thing?
I think
we're talking about the image from like what Benny linked, because that's like an old picture.
Yeah.
From just like 2004 or whatever.
Right, okay.
Like,
maybe I am looking
just
at the wrong
because
one.
they're in it doesn't mean that that's the books they're going to do.
Right, I thought they said they were going to do all the characters from the old one.
It's not a terrible thing to bring back Marvel Knights, but the basis behind Marvel Knights was that they were like unsellable characters. They were characters that like Marvel couldn't really make money off of, so they gave them to Jimmy Palmiotti and what's his name? What's his name? No, not Bendis. The Joe Quesada, yeah. They gave him to Palmiotti and Joe Quesada, and Event Comics wrote and drew him. Like that's all Marvel Knights was originally. Like literally, they were the characters where Marvel's like, they're too much of a gamble to publish because we're about to go broke. So, I mean, that was the whole formation of the team. Plus, they were a little bit darker, but like Marvel Max replaced the dark nature of Marvel Knights. So, if you're talking about Marvel like making a Black Label designed to compete, or making a line of comics designed to compete with Black Label, make Marvel Max. And just go back to having Garth Ennis write Punisher, and make like Wolverine Max, and just start making like Max comics again.
It's
like,
also the 20-year anniversary of Marvel Knights too, so it's a celebratory thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. It's just,
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not overly excited. In the end of the day, I guess I could get behind it because I am liking his run on Venom right now, which is kind of selling me on a lot of the stuff he's been doing.
Yeah, the fact that he's made Venom a critical darling now.
Oh yeah, Venom. He made me I boycotted the hell out of what's his face, the guy that I don't like,
Tom Hardy.
No, not Tom Hardy.
That guy.
I like Bane anyway. No, God damn it, who was the original Venom? Eddie Brock. There you go. Yeah. He's actually making me like Eddie Brock. I was totally against it when he took over. So
I agree. I'm right there with you on that one. He's making me like him, but he's also not afraid to talk mad shit about him too, being like, Eddie Brock, you are the man of a million second chances.
Oh yeah. Lee Price, everyone. Yeah. So, okay. So that kind of wraps up what's the highlights. And as far as I remember, that was the most of the stuff that got announced that I could remember that was huge.
Yeah, I know like a bunch of people have been talking about the Glass trailer that came out because that's like tangentially related to superheroes in a sense.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's the sequel to the whole Split thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But Split and...
Okay, can someone confirm this for me? Because I meant to look it up, but I didn't. No, are Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis coming back?
Yeah, they're in it.
So, okay.
In the trailer, they're in it.
Yeah, they're in it.
I didn't even see the trailer. I'll look that up right now.
Yeah.
Because when we heard that it had been, like, it dropped, the first thing I said was, it's a great idea, but if they don't come back, there's no movie. Like,
it's literally, it's so funny because it's just like, you've got Samuel L. Jackson who's played Nick Fury, and now he's like, and now I'm going to play a villain in the Shyamalan universe, which is what I started with, and it's like, and Bruce Willis, of course, will play like, his character, and it's like, man, Bruce, you could also just play a character in either DC or Marvel universe. It'd be okay. You could just say yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it's going to be awesome. Like,
right?
Like I am, man. Let me tell you, like, dude, as soon as they showed the post-credit scene in Split, and they had and they were showing Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, like, and they referenced Mr. Glass. So I've been hyped for this ever since. And this looks like it's going to be awesome because from what it looks like, there's more than just them.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people out there that can do different things.
Oh, certainly.
Now, here's what I'm so excited about is it's not going to be like, the X-Men, and it's like I shoot off the beams out of my eyes. It's not going to be anything crazy like that. It's just going to be like things that are just slightly above normal.
Yeah.
It's going to be closer to Doom Patrol.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, it's also like it's things you could explain away if you tried hard enough, or you wanted to ignore.
Exactly.
And it seems like it's going to be like darker in the sense of like I think for a majority of this we're going to be spending it with Sam Jackson and what's his name fucking
James
split.
McAvoy?
Yeah.
Yes, James
Yeah.
McAvoy, which is like not necessarily a universe I want to be in, but like I'm looking forward to visiting.
It's just look. I got one last topic we're going to talk about before we close out, okay? But just picture. Basically, this is Die Hard versus Professor Xavier versus Nick Fury. That's what this boils down to. So, Rob, you're getting Avengers versus X-Men. Just
Yeah, I guess I am now. Yeah, they're like, man, Professor X is ripped. It's like, yeah, man, like he's been popping them roids, looking out with the table.
We're going to keep this to a shorter time frame because technically this isn't San Diego news, but everyone's asking.
Yeah.
The opinions on the Titans trailer. Okay, we're going to keep this kind of shorter because.
I mean, I never really cared about Titans, so I don't. I mean,
Yeah,
I cared until I didn't.
fair. Yeah.
It looks
don't
terrible.
start pulling a Rob. What the fuck?
No,
Joel?
I'm just saying. I mean,
No,
it's
his
just-
line. I cared until I didn't.
Oh yeah, Joel. No, you can't say that, Joel.
What, is that a Rob thing? I don't know.
That
I
was a
thought I
Rob
was
thing.
doing my own.
Yeah, like I loved it until I didn't. Yeah, that's a Rob.
What I'm going to say, because I mean, I think me and Sal are probably the biggest Titan fans. I don't know. Where do you stand on the Titans, Tiffany?
I'm a fan of the Teen Titans
Like
and
a
their
cartoon.
cartoon show.
And when they go.
Right.
Less so when they go.
I will be going to the movie though.
I will.
I am going to that movie.
I
I
want to see
am.
the movie.
It looks to me like a Lego Batman style fun romp.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to see the movie.
So,
And
okay, I will say. Oh, God.
I was going to say, did you hear some rumor that if that movie does well, they might bring back the original animation style for Teen Titans?
Yeah.
One of the people tweeted out that was what was going to happen, and so everyone's running a mile with it.
It's like, first of all, that's lunacy. Second of all, please do that.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're holding it hostage. Give us
They
lots
are.
of money on opening weekend or else.
Yeah.
For me, when it comes to the Titans trailer, the darker tone doesn't bother me. I mean, there have been periods where Batman fired Dick Grayson or Dick Grayson hated what Batman was doing. They've disagreed. I feel the line "fuck Batman" is
Little
completely out of
much.
context, and its entire purpose is exactly what happened. Everyone throughout all of San Diego Comic-Con was like, "Oh, Aquaman looked amazing," but could you believe Robin said "fuck Batman"? Like. It could be a joke. It could be actually in context. It could be a very large number of reasons why he said that. I mean, one idea that I had was, because we've already know that Red Hood has been cast at this thing.
Yeah.
One idea that I had about the whole thing is that they kind of jumble up the timeline a little bit more.
Yeah.
And
That was maybe
Batman and
Jason,
Dick
not
Grayson
Dick.
disagree, firing Dick Grayson. Jason comes in. Jason gets killed. And then Dick Grayson's like, that could have been me. This is kind of depressing. Look what happened to the next Robin. And then Red Hood shows up, and he's like, this is why Batman's plans don't work.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's a number of reasons why this whole situation could happen. As for Robin killing nonchalantly and things like that, that's one of two things. One, it's not actually killing them, like he snapped necks or whatever, but just did it in Batman style. Or this just continues the direction DC wants to go, where the Bat family is the vigilante who's willing to kill. Because, I mean, look what they did in Batman v Superman and shit. Batman blew up a dude.
Yeah.
So,
And shot people.
that's what I mean. They could, like, DC could be going with, Batman's the hard, gritty, he'll kill, and Superman's the hope, the light. It could be following that
Will
direction.
also occasionally kill.
Well, that's the thing to keep in mind too. Like they're not like they're fictional characters. They're not real. So it's like, well, Batman doesn't kill. It's like, yeah, but he does now.
Exactly.
like-
Batman did back in the
And
day.
I disagree.
It just seems like they tried to do too much with this trailer. Like, they tried to do way too much with this trailer, and it just came off as, like, a jumbled hodgepodge of, like, things I don't necessarily want to see. You know, like...
Yeah. Well, like I said, I was never too big into the Titans were after my time. So like I mean seriously, like when people were growing up with like the Teen Titans and watching the show, that was after my time. My time ended with like Superman the animated series,
Right.
and that was
Well,
like
you're talking about the
that
show,
and like
Marv Wolfman's original Titans was great.
oh I know
Yeah.
but this is basically Marv Wolfman's original Titans. Like the show is literally rooted
Well,
in Marv Wolfman's
and-
original Titans with the feel, the tone,
and
the
a
whole
lot
nine
of the other
yards.
things that I'm finding in this trailer that people are complaining about, they're like, well, Raven's all whiny and she's just nothing but complaining and emo. And it's like, that was Raven, guys. Like, the show changed Raven to be different. When Raven was in the comics, it was, oh my God, get her the fuck out of here because she will shut the fuck up.
Oh
My
yeah.
thing about Raven is that I'm like, are you indicating by this trailer that you're going to kick this whole thing off with their big problem being Trigon? Because it's like, shouldn't
Sure
you
seems
wait
that way.
on that one? Shouldn't you maybe
Feels
not
like
A
third
do...
demon
season
capable
villain.
of destroying like the universe
I don't
has to
know.
be stopped by the Teen Titans.
Maybe you might want to like push that off to season 2.
Yeah.
Or maybe they hype up to that. This whole one's Raven finding her way. In the
It
end
could be.
cliffhanger. Yeah.
All I can imagine is that the Doom Patrol is going to be in this and show up and be like,
Oh, they're gonna be there too.
thanks. You're all creepy. Bye-bye. We're gonna go over here and have a nice time.
I mean, I'm just waiting for the episode. Like on the next episode of Teen Titans, Raven goes shopping, and like she goes to Hot Topic and Spencer's, and it's like just buys ironic stuff.
Oh, gotta get that Bullet Club merch.
As far as the question you guys are asking, why didn't they start with Deathstroke? Because everyone knows Deathstroke in the Judas Contract. If they're good, I mean, the Teen Titans have a lot of villains they can run with and things that.
And also because Deathstroke might be in that Batman movie that may or may not be made, and we don't want to double dip for whatever weird reason. Here's the thing that gets me: all the dialogue in that, did that not really very much feel like a 40-year-old man trying to write down to young people? It's like, oh, what are the kids like? Oh, they hate their parents because my kids hate me. So
as far as Beast Boy and Starfire go, though, I feel Beast Boy looks a lot better with the effects and the makeup actually on. I felt he was fine. Starfire, I'm on the fence about because with the effects she looked okay, but that hair and the outfit don't match. Now they tweeted out that supposedly that outfit and that hair were done up for a like 80s 90s themed party that Starfire went to. And I'm like, okay, so that means you're just not showing us the real outfit. Feel that's a poor choice in your marketing department. And then they slapped that outfit on the big wallpaper. They're like, damn, DC Universe. And I'm like, I'm starting to think you guys are lying.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Your superheroes should look better than the cosplayers who play them.
Yes.
that I agree with.
Also, too, the fact that this was their big thing apart to announce the DC Universe app, which can be yours for only $7.99 a month. Fuck Batman. Seems like a poor place to start. But the Young Justice trailer, now that looked fun.
Yeah.
Which trailer?
The Young Justice season 3.
Oh yeah, that
I didn't see it. Yeah, again, Young Justice, a show that was after my time. Like it looks. I mean, it's. I don't know. I mean, when it comes to those things, like I never grew up with those, so it doesn't really matter to me when they say like Titans is getting a show. Now, having said that, if they're like we're remastering in HD X-Men the animated series, I'd be all over that shit. I'd be like, yeah, man, let's make that happen.
They did that for Batman the animated series. There's a Blu-ray coming out.
Looks great.
Yeah, but that's not X-Men the animated series.
One more just real. Did anyone else hear this explanation? Because like everyone's just like, I guess.
I'm sorry, Tiffany. Sal, did you say Batman was better?
No, I did.
Oh yeah, no, he said that, but I agree with him.
As do I, actually. I mean, look.
No.
I mean, X-Men can be second best, and that's still a high mark.
X-Men was better. I'm sorry,
How many
Tiffany.
Emmys does the X-Men animated series have?
Yeah.
Oh, who gives a shit?
Yeah. No, Batman was.
You started this. You can't be like, who gives a shit? I'm losing.
Hold on. I want you guys to have this conversation.
How many Academy Awards did George Lucas win? That means Star Wars sucks. So I'm just saying.
I want you to have this conversation.
It didn't win any writing awards. It won a special effects award.
Let me just close out this whole Titans thing real quick because I from like a lot of the Titans groups, like Teen Titans, whatever. Cyborg's not on it. He's on the Justice League. What's going on with that? Somebody said online that I saw that they were like, he's off dealing with Doom Patrol, and that's how it's going to come into play. And I'm like, but why? When Beast Boy was literally part of the Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I think a lot of this is it's a lot of hearsay and rumors, and no one really knows what this is going to be about.
Yeah.
Until DC gives us what doesn't appear to be a fan hackneyed trailer, we're not going to know.
No.
Like that's just really what it comes down to. We're not going to know.
Yeah. Nope. And they're not going to tell you. It's just they're really keeping a lid on it. Also, I'm sure it's not going to. It's in its own universe.
Yeah. Until it's not.
No. There's no way any of this will be in the DC film.
See, that's.
But they're hoping it to be the launching point for their Doom Patrol show and their Swamp Thing show, and maybe the Stargirl show will also be in this continuity, which seems like a poor place to start.
Well, that's the problem, man. Like, you can't treat every show that you make as a testing ground for whether or not you can do a DC cinematic universe or like a shared universe. Like, you have to say, like, it's a shared universe, and like now we're going to build everything around it. Like, you can't. I mean, because it's like the problem you run into. Like, Deathstroke is synonymous with the Teen Titans. Like, under Marv Wolfman, he was the most notable villain of the Teen Titans. And so you can't, in turn, have Deathstroke introduced in Justice League, who will play a role, have his own film, and then not have, because it would be like if the Marvel Cinematic Universe had Eric Killmonger, not even Eric Killmonger, if they had Purple Man and Jessica Jones, and then like another Purple Man in an Avengers movie, and they were enemies and fought, and they're two distinctly different things.
It would be almost like if they had the same actress play Black Mariah in the Netflix show, and then have her play the catalyst for Tony Stark starting Civil War in the Captain America Civil War.
Damn it, Sal.
We just really like that lady.
I didn't even think about that until you said it. You destroyed my perception of Black Mariah.
What are you annoying. And then when you find out that they brought her in as a reshoot scene, I'm like, no! You mean you knew she was Black Mariah and you did it anyway, and it was an afterthought?
Yeah. Now, that being said, as bad as that is, I am glad what they did with Powers Booth character ultimately, though, from the Shield to the movies. That was a nice touch.
That's fun. Well, he was in the movies first. He was on the yeah. They put him,
and then they said he was the same guy.
Oh yeah, no. Well, you can demote people from the movies to the show.
Aww.
This show becomes a cornfield. Like, your character did not pan out, so shuffle off to Netflix.
Listen, I love Powers Booth. I'm glad he was in the show, and he was fun in that show. But bye.
I'm gonna send you to the cornfield.
You get sent out to the cornfield. Yeah. You've been bad.
Let's wrap up this San Diego Comic-Con wrap up. Let's do his final thoughts on the whole thing.
Yeah.
I feel like, as much fun as we had talking about these topics, this is the beginning of the end of San Diego. Because pretty much Warner Brothers is the only one that came here. Marvel's pretty much just doing D23. They don't care anymore.
Yep. They have their own thing. They don't have to show up.
In the day and age of the internet, I've noticed game companies and movie companies, they've stopped giving a shit about the big cons, and they just announce things when they want to announce them.
There's no need for it. There's no need for it anymore. Like literally, like Warner Brothers fires up Twitch.tv. Here's everything we have coming out, guys, and they do that for like 3 hours. And
the biggest talking point that in the comic community that I saw on this entire weekend was Titans, and that wasn't even in San Diego.
Yeah,
that was before San Diego.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's honestly, I think cons in general are going there. I think that's one of the reasons why New York Comic Con succeeds so well, though, is because it's more than just comics and geek culture stuff. Like, it's video games and things like that.
They're trying to put it all together.
Yeah, they're kind of like a big melting pot. I mean, Sal, you can speak to that better than I have because you've been to New York Comic Con ever since it first popped up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean.
Yeah, but it started as a comic show. Like, it was straight up like it just. The other thing is Marvel. You know, Marvel's based out of New York. They always had a presence there. They they can easily send creators there. DC only recently just moved over to LA anyway, so it's like easier for them to set up over there now. It's weird. Reed has a very different approach to the convention scene than the people who own San Diego.
Comic-Con International.
Yeah, and I think Comic-Con International is also like, at some point or another, Hollywood gave like their stamp of approval to Comic-Con International, and that was when Comic-Con went like, oh, the grown-ups have said that they approve of our, they're going to use us. Like, never mind, then we're going to go all in on whatever the hell Hollywood tells us we are now.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. But no, I mean, no, you're 100% right, Benny. Like, that is literally it. Like, it's the same thing with the comic book stores. Like, those that don't adapt get left behind. And with cons, it's the same thing. Like, the conventions that don't adapt to rolling in video games and other things that people find interesting outside of comic books will fall to the wayside, because the era of like Marvel makes a huge announcement in Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con, like, that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
No, because even on the defense of that, they've been saving it all for the Disney thing now.
Yeah.
D23.
Yeah.
Like,
and
now I need to watch D23, which I kind of
have Marvel and Star Wars on that show,
and
too.
That's the thing. If you're Marvel Studios, it works perfect because all the best movies come out every 2 or 3 years anyway.
Yeah.
And so, like, you make an announcement for Infinity War, and you're like, okay, or you make an announcement, or even the year before Infinity War, and you're like, here's all the things that we're doing, and Infinity War comes out next year, and then Avengers 4 the year after that, and it works.
Yeah.
And so, because what is it? D23 is it next year that they do it?
Next year, yeah. It's every year, every other year. So next year, August. So you know what I say right now is going to happen next year? We're going to get the Avengers movie. We're going to get Captain Marvel, Avengers, and then we're going to get D23, and they're going to announce the entire new phase. It won't be in Hall H. Hall H will be like a minor announcement compared to what's going to be said at D23.
Oh, they'll do the same thing they did before.
No more announcements at San Diego Comic-Con from here on out. End of
story. Yeah, they're going to do what they did before.
Weird.
They're just going to like rent a theater, and then they're going to be like, hey, everybody come here. Which, by the way, we need to find somebody who can like let us know when that's going to happen before it happens, because I want to get tickets to that shit.
That'd be nice.
All right, so we're going to start winding down the show. No, we don't have time to really talk about the James Gunn thing.
That's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's a whole discussion in itself about the current day and age of everything. I do want to take a moment of silence though for Jon Schnepp of he passed away over the weekend. And for those of you guys who don't know, he's with Collider. He's also known as the King of the Sweaties. He's huge in the geek community, and
Venture
he went
Brothers,
in.
Metalocalypse,
Metalocalypse,
that Superman documentary.
He went in they never said what he went in for as far as I was able to see, but he went in and he went into a coma in the hospital, and he passed away peacefully over the weekend. Yep. So let's just have a moment of silence here for that. Okay. And I guess that's we'll end the show on that. We'll let everyone say, their farewells. But for those of you guys who are joining us for the first time, we have the weekly poll. We come here every other week to talk about your favorite pop culture and news and stuff that's happening over here in the pop culture sphere. We'll be back in 2 weeks with normally 4 of these 5 hosts, maybe all 5. But I'm Benny the Comicstorian. Sal and Tiffany are from Comic Pop. Rob is over at Comics Explained, and Joel is over at Cape Joel. And that's about it. You can find us on our Twitter at Weekly Poll. You can subscribe right here. It's how this entire project is funded. The Weekly Poll is funded by the Twitch subs that come in today and tomorrow. We use that to fund Danielle, the individual who does the uploads and handles scheduling and things like that for us and helps keep things on track. And for those guys asking about the 3 Jokers, all we know is there's a book. There's nothing to talk about.
3 Jokers.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're just like, it's a thing. Like, this is happening still.
Yeah, it's coming out. That's all we got.
It's also in Black Label.
The only thing I will say is it is in Black Label, but apparently Black Label is for in continuity and out of continuity stuff, and this is in continuity.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, thank you so much. Don't forget, if you want to support us, subscribe right here on the Twitch, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, the Weekly Poll. If you are a part of the Eligible Monster crew here, Rob and I will be live on Thursday with more of the RMBE show. We're going to be doing a couple things, and if all goes according to plan, in 2 weeks, we're going to have Sal and Tiffany down here to film some things. And if that doesn't go horrendous, eventually we'll have Joel down here. I
was going to say, that's fine. I'm always the third choice. I'm well aware of this.
For those guys who are wondering why Sal doesn't get brought with us a lot of times, Sal's in Canada. He's the most expensive to fly.
Joel's in Canada.
Sal? Joel's in Canada.
Joel. Yeah, my bad.
Really? Sal's been in Canada this whole time and I didn't know?
What? And we've been flying him, too.
Yeah. Like, Sal's town is not in the United States.
Oh, no.
All right, guys, thank you so much, and we will see you next time. Alan Scott!
Peace.